This is To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning and welcome to The Point. I'm Kelley Dunn in for Michael Williams. Our special guest today is the incredible New York Times bestselling author Brad Meltzer. I just had to get right to it. Brad's latest thriller, The Lightning Rod, is out right now and is the sequel to his critically acclaimed bestseller, The Escape Artist. In addition to his novels, there's Brad in front of so many of them, which have sold more than 11 million copies. Brad is the host of television shows on the History Channel, the author of NonFiction bestsellers, The First Conspiracy and The Lincoln Conspiracy, as well as the blockbuster children's history book series, Ordinary People Change the World. I've been waiting for this day. You're a guest, a friend now to this show, to this television station, to me. When people know you're coming, they're all like, oh, Brad Meltzer's coming. So I'm so thrilled to have you.
I will also say that you were one of the first TV interviews I had. I remember we did something I think it was so long ago I had hair when we did the interview. But I can't believe that we're here celebrating the new book, but also celebrating you. That is for sure what I'm doing here today.
Well, that is very, very sweet. But it is the 25th anniversary of your publishing career.
I know, 25 years is a long time.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And it's one of those ones where, you know, we can get all the nice reviews, you can get sell a bunch of books, but when you mark 25 years, you feel really old and you feel like you should have learned something. I can only guarantee one of those things.
Now, I don't think you look old when you compare it to this picture, but I do love this then and now. I mean, this was incredible. So your first novel, The 10th Justice. Well, first of all, look at the computer.
I know. First of all, I kept that computer, by the way. It's an old Macintosh that I have with the floppy disks I still own as well.
You were ahead of the time. Mac probably wasn't even that big of a deal.
It was not. My then girlfriend, now wife, got one in college. And I remember her telling her, this is never going to catch on, this computer thing. Trust my word processor. Basically, it was a typewriter, like it was electric.
Right.
And I really showed her.
Well, oh my, can you even believe that and we'll get to so many of your accomplishments and all that, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but isn't it weird to think that it's been 25 years?
It's an odd thing to celebrate, because I still feel like that kid who got 24 rejection letters on his first book, and I can't ever shake that. So I never thought we were going to get anything more than a 25th and a 26th and a 27th rejection letter. And so to mark 25 years just definitely seems like it is definitely a wild one, I'll say that.
Well, and I mean, almost too many books to count. And novel-wise, is this 12 or 13?
I'm a 13.
This is 13, that's right, this is 13, because there have already been 12 thrillers. So The Lightning Rod, a Zig and Nola novel. Why are Zig and Nola, because they're coming back, as we said, this is a sequel to The Escape Artist. Why are these characters so special to you?
You know, because I think they're both sides of me. You know, Kelley, when I started out, I was in my 20s, and I wrote about 20-year-olds. And then I got married in my 30s, and I wrote about a married couple. When I had kids, I started writing kids' books. But here I am, you know, Zig is a character who believes in putting good into the world, and that makes the world a better place. It's a completely beautiful idea. It's a naive idea, but it's an idea worth fighting for. And that's a part of my brain, right? That's part of who I am. Nola is a lead female character. She believes you want the world to make sense. You grab it by the throat and you force it to make sense. And you fight for justice. That's also a part of my brain. So all you're seeing in these books is just me trying to work out, you know, how does the world work and what am I dealing with at the moment? And so Zig and Nola, I felt like had to come back because I'm still struggling with those answers.
Well, and it's funny because I'm a big fan of The Late Show with Seth Meyers because I work so late every night, and usually it's on when I get home. And you were interviewed, I think it was last week, and I remember you saying to Seth Meyers, here you are walking out, Mr. Big Time, on this big show, on so many. You did such a great press tour for this book because I was following along with you. But you talked about how you always write about your fears in your books.
I do, yeah. So this book started with one of my great fears. And it's a character hands his car keys over to a valet at a fancy restaurant. Valet takes the car keys, takes the car, but instead of parking the car, he hits the GPS button on the steering wheel and says the magic words, go home. And now the car plots a route to the man's house.
Yes.
The valet has his car keys. He's got his house keys. This is going to be a robbery. And when the valet breaks into the man's house, he sees there's another man already waiting there with a gun. This is not a robbery at all, Kelley. This is a trap. And when his body goes to our hero Zig, Zig
He's a
finds something
mortician,
on. He's a
right.
mortician. He finds something hidden on the body no one's supposed to see, and it leads to one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Now, I just ruined chapter 1 of the lightning rod for you.
It's all right.
And there's
You
only,
got a lot of chapters.
There's only 2 chapters in the book, right? So, but that's chapter 1. But it is my fear, and I've realized one thing: that the most authentic story I can ever tell is my own story. So if I'm afraid of it and it creeps me out, that's when I go, okay, hopefully I'm not that special. Other people will be creeped out as well.
You are known for your research. I mean, and sometimes I think that's counterintuitive for people. You're writing a novel, so you're making it up, but you do so much research, and we've talked about it over the years, and things that you've discovered, people honestly would never know. The average Joe does not know this stuff.
Well, because it's what I love, right? I've taken readers into the underground tunnels below the White House. We've done the secret labyrinth below the U.S. Capitol building. For the lightning rod, I found, and this is true, that the government has about a dozen warehouses, secret warehouses hidden all across the country to deal with bioterror attacks, whether it's anthrax, whether it's smallpox. And the idea is that if there's an attack in New York, in Seattle, in California, in Texas, here in Florida, that within hours they will have the antidote right there. And I said, you're telling me the government has secret warehouses nobody knows about, no one can go inside? I want to go inside there, right? And what you see when you get to the final chapters of The Lightning Rod and you get to that final scene where the whodunit is revealed, you see who the killer is, it's in this warehouse. And what you see inside, I didn't make up. That's what's really inside there. I won't ruin the ending for you.
How do you have such access? How's that happened?
Well, a couple things. So one, President Clinton and President Bush have read my books. That's helpful, right? It's helpful to be able, if you want to research the White House, it's helpful to have people who lived in the White House. Right. But the real answer is I've had the Secret Service help me with books for almost 20 years now. Now, why do they help me? Because when they tell me, listen, we're going to explain this secret to you, you can't write about it, but you need to understand it, so when we give you this secret, this one you can write about. Wow. And for 20 years, I've never broken my word. I'm a man of my word. And that's why they help me book after book after book. And I always change the security protocols. When you see these warehouses, I move the locations. I keep the country safe, but you get to see what no one else gets to see. And that, to me, is the fun of it. I love when you're reading a thriller and you're learning something as you go.
Absolutely. And only you can do that. It's your gift to all of us. I want to talk real quickly about some of your nonfictions before we go to a break, and we've got a lot more to talk about. But the Lincoln Conspiracy and also the First Conspiracy, some of your nonfictions that came out. You have another coming out in January, I understand, the Nazi Conspiracy. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this is our new one. We did the plot to kill Abraham Lincoln that no one knew about, the one that, not the John Wilkes Booth one, but the original one. We did the secret plot to kill George Washington. We were like, how do we top that? We found this story, and this is true, that there was a Nazi plot to murder FDR, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill, all in one single triple assassination threat. What? It is the most incredible story you've ever heard. There's a point where there's a Nazi who parachutes down from the sky on a rescue mission. You're gonna go, when you read the book, you're gonna go, this can't be real. It's, not only is it real, I made sure that we got a picture of the event put into the Nazi conspiracy so you can see it. It's the wildest World War II story you're ever going to hear. You won't believe it. And you're going right now, why do I not know it?
Yeah.
Because World War II was taking place. There was so much else to deal with that they never focused on this one little footnote of a plot that basically never was able to be pulled off. When I heard there was a secret plot to kill the big three, I want to know what that plot is. And you'll see that we take you right inside it.
And that comes out in January.
January 2023 is the new one.
Okay. Well, we always need more than a half hour, but we still have a few more minutes. So in just a minute, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of just your heart on Pages, which is your children's series, Ordinary People Change the World. So we'll be back with more with Brad Meltzer right after this.